Sri Vaheguru Sahib Jio. Shalok Mehla Tija. Re jan uthare dabbio, ਸੁੱਤਿਆ ਗਈ ਵਿਹਾਏ। ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਕਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸੁਣ ਨਾ ਜਾਗਿਓ, ਅੰਤਰ ਨਾ ਉਪਜਿਓ ਚਾਉ। ਸਰੀਰ ਜਲੋ ਗੁਣ ਬਾਹਰਾ, ਜੋ ਗੁਰ ਕਾਰ ਨਾ ਕਮਾਏ। ਜਗਤ ਜਲੰਦਾ ਡਿਠ ਮੈਂ, ਹਉਮੈ ਦੂਜੈ ਭਾਇ। ਨਾਨਕ ਗੁਰ ਸ਼ਰਨਾਈ, ਉਬਰੇ ਸਚ ਮਨ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਧਿਆਏ। ਮਹੱਲਾ ਤੀਜਾ। ਸ਼ਬਦ ਰਤੇ ਹਉਮੈ ਗਈ, ਸੋ ਬਾਵੰਤੀ ਨਾਰ। ਸ਼ਬਦ ਰਤੇ ਹਉਮੈ ਗਈ, ਸੋ ਬਾਵੰਤੀ ਨਾਰ। ਫਿਰ ਕਹਿ ਭਾਣੈ ਸਦਾ ਚੱਲੈ, ਤਾਂ ਬਣਿਆ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰ। ਸੇਜ ਸੁਹਾਵੀ ਸਦਾ ਪਿਰ ਰਾਵੈ, ਹਰ ਵਰ ਪਾਇਆ ਨਾਰ। ਨਾ ਹਰ ਮਰੈ ਨਾ ਕਦੈ ਦੁਖ ਲਾਗੈ, ਸਦਾ ਸੁਹਾਗਣ ਨਾਰ। ਨਾਨਕ ਹਰ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਮੇਲ ਲਈ, ਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਹੇਤ ਪਿਆਰ। ਪੌੜੀ ਜਿਨਾ ਗੁਰ ਗੋਪਿਆ, ਆਪਣਾ ਤੇ ਨਰ ਬਰਿਆਰੀ। ਹਰ ਜਿਉ ਤਿਨ ਕਾ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ, ਨਾ ਕਰਹੁ ਪਾਪਿਸਟ ਹਤਿਆਰੀ। ਉਹੇ ਘਰ ਕਰ ਫਿਰਹਿ ਕਸੁਧ ਮਨ, ਜੋ ਧਰਕਟ ਨਾਰੀ। ਵਡਭਾਗੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਮਿਲੇ, ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਸਵਾਰੀ। ਹਰ ਮਿਲੋ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਦਇਆ ਕਰ, ਗੁਰ ਕੋ ਬਲਹਾਰੀ। ਵਡਭਾਗੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਮਿਲੇ, ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਸਵਾਰੀ। ਹਰ ਮਿਲੋ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਦਇਆ ਕਰ, ਗੁਰ ਕੋ ਬਲਹਾਰੀ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, today's Pavan Pitra Hukamnama Sahib from Sachkhand Sri Harmandir Sahib is on Ang 651. Blessed to us by Tije Padshah Guru Amar Das Ji Padshah. Padshah Ji today is saying to us within this Pauri Shalok Mahalla Tija, Re jan uthare dabbio. What Padshah Ji is saying here, Re Jan, Jan, even though Jan translates to a servant, a humble servant, but here generally Guru Sahib is just talking, calling out to everyone and saying Re Jan. We can just translate that to, hey, listen. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਥਾਰੇ ਦੱਬਿਓ, ਸੁੱਤਿਆ ਗਈ ਵਿਹਾਏ। ਸੁੱਤਿਆ, ਸੁੱਤਿਆ meaning asleep. ਗਈ ਵਿਹਾਏ, ਵਿਹਾਏ means to pass. They said this life has passed you whilst you remained asleep. ਤੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਥਾਰੇ ਦੱਬਿਓ, the way to translate this uthara, Sangat Ji, means that, you know, you may have had this experience that when you're asleep and you feel this immense weight upon your chest. And even though you wanna get up and you can't get up and you can't move, and you feel as if somebody's pressing you down. And that's what dabbyo means. Dabbyo means somebody is pressing you down. And uthare is the weight. So Sangat Ji, so Professor Sahib Singh has translated that to, even though he's saying that the weight is your own hand that is actually resting and sitting on your chest. And then when you're in that deep sleep and you're coming out of that deep sleep, and then it feels as if there's a weight on your chest and you can't move and you can't get up. What is Guru Amar Das Ji Paat Ji, what message are they trying to convey to us through this example? What Paat Ji is saying is that, what does it mean to go through this life, passing this life whilst remaining asleep? Meaning remaining asleep in ignorance. And remember, ignorance is that. Sometimes we say these words but we're not contemplating on what it even means to be in ignorance. Ignorance is when something is there, but we're not even aware of it. Ignorance is remaining in the dark, is not switching on that light to know what actually exists, what is actually present, what is there. We sometimes say that, oh, such and such person was ignorant of that chair being there, hence they fell over it. In that same way, Sangat Ji, many of us are passing this life in being asleep in that ignorance of not actually knowing the truth. Living in the dark. Living in the dark means not even realizing what we are. If until today still we only identify ourselves as this body and we know nothing beyond this body. Bhagat Kabir Ji, they talk about going, never mind the body, but going even beyond the mind. They say that Jaha bol teh achar awa. Bhagat Kabir Ji, they say Jaha bol te achar awa. And what that means is that when we need to communicate with each other, we use letters to communicate with each other. But then they say that there's an avastha, there's a state where you go beyond language and beyond the use of your mind to actually even create a language. Because a language is something that we learn. A language is something that we pick up through our senses, just so that we can communicate, so we can express ourselves. But Bhagat Kabir Ji is saying, Kande Jaha Abol, there's a state where there is no speech, meaning there is no communication via language or via the actual mind. The mind is where the impressions have been stored upon what we have accumulated through our senses. The mind is that where the memory sits of what we have accumulated through these senses. And then through that memory, we use that then to form letters, to put letters together and then actually form a language to communicate. But there's a state where Kabir Singh Jaha Abol, it's beyond the communication through what is stored within the mind. And then they say that there's a place where the mind does not even remain. So meaning that we can go beyond this mind, but most of us, we have no knowledge of anything beyond this body and mind. Yes, we know that we think, we have thoughts. So often we think our existence is based on because we are able to think. But that's not true. Our existence is even beyond the body, is beyond the mind, and even beyond the mind as well, beyond the body and mind, maaf karna. So Sangat Ji, here, Jaha bol te man na rahawa. Then Bhagat Kabir ji say, bol, abol, mad hai soi. They sing bol, abol, mad hai soi. Sangat ji, Bhagat Kabir ji saying that Vaheguru ji exists in both places. It's not that Vaheguru ji isn't there present where the mind is concerned and it is only present beyond the mind. So Sangat ji, mad hai soi, meaning that when we need to communicate within this world, then we have to come down and we have to come to that, we have to keep in touch with Vaheguru, and then we use this mind as well. So Khair Sangat ji, coming back to the topic, that's actually, I won't do justice to that if even what I've just said then, it's not gonna flow unless I spend a lot more time with that. So my fault should not have gone on to the next that pangti there. But let's just focus on this jaha abol te man na rahaba. So there's a place that is beyond even our body and mind. That place where Pachaji talks about in Gurbani that sun mandal ek jogi baise. They say that there's a place where sun mandal means there's that state, there's that place of existence where sun, where there is just absolute silence, where there is no noise of the mind, of all our memory playing up with us, constantly going round and round. There's a place where sun mandal ek jogi baise, that one Vaheguru ji, ek jogi baise is sitting, that the yogi of all yogis, baise is Vaheguru ji, meaning it's not, don't start thinking physical matter and sitting somewhere in an actual geographical place. It's not like that. The way it is that when we go through meditation of Naam and we separate ourselves and go to that place of silence where you're able to be aware. If we at the same time, let's go back to our Shabad as well. At that place, Sangat ji, where we're able to be aware of that this body, yes, I'm wearing at the moment, but is not me. Yes, this mind is a tool to live and survive in this world whilst having this body, but that is not me and I'm separate to that as well. Knowing that is called what Bhataji referred to as having Gyan. Gyan meaning having realization. But here Bhataji is talking about that Sutya Gaivi Hai, but remaining asleep, meaning that living in ignorance. The truth is that's our true existence. And that is what is the driving force and power behind everything else, behind this mind and body. But when we are unaware of that, when we are still living as body, when we're still living as thoughts, as memory, up until then, that's what it means. Sutya gai vihaye, sari zindagi sutya hi nikal gai. I was living from within the mind. When I'm living from within the mind, then it's very difficult to have control over that mind. Then what happens is we get stuck in the mind, and then the mind starts to control us. The mind becomes the leader. The mind becomes the master, the one that is actually deciding of what to do, what to look at, what to touch for this body, what it should be doing, what it should be thinking. And then we're in it, we become that. But Sangjit, that means living in ignorance. In that way, that's how we're not able to then break out of habits. That's how we're not then able to get any control of this mind. And then Pachaji saying, Kende, Re man uthare dabbyo ho, yes, you're asleep in the ignorance of not having that realization yet of what you are. And what happens? What happens when you live from a place of solely from the body and mind? Then what happens is, then attachment will actually push us down. That's what actually then that holds us down. Not being able to get up is actually attachment. So we often think in life that we are living life. But actually Maharaj is saying, no, you're not, you're asleep and you're not able to get up. There's the weight of attachment on you and you're sleeping in ignorance. Let's have a look at that for a moment. In life, when we are so stuck in thinking this is mine, mera, be it somebody going through a divorce maybe, they're going through a breakup in their relationship of their marriage. And then when you start to feel that possessiveness of that belongs to you, that is mine, mera. Just like Sache Paatshah Ji say to us in Gurbani, Mero, Mero, Sabha, Kahat hai, Hit syo bandyo cheet, Mero, Mero. Sangat Ji is saying, Mero, Mero, Sabha, Kahat hai. Here Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Paatshah Ji is saying that everyone is saying mine, mine. Sabhe kahat hai, hit syo bandyo cheet. And what's happened is hit. Their chit, their consciousness has been bounded by what? By attachment. Only from attachment, when you want to hold on to something, when you start to believe that it is yours and it belongs to you and you own that. And then you have that attachment for that. And that what happens is, you get trapped in that way and we're not able to realize our true self in that way. And be then saying, this is mine, this is mine. And what happens in that place, Sangat Ji? In that place, what happens is this. That Paatshah Ji, if you think about that scenario now, that situation now, we are so caught up in that place. There's no space for actually, that's not even living, Paatshah Ji is saying. They're saying that moment you feel that you've got right over that, this is mine, and I should not lose this. And what will happen? You will then experience pain. Paatshah Ji is saying, actually, here you are trapped by this. By when you go through that experience in sleep and not being able to get up, they're saying, but you're actually up and about. They say, even though you're up and about and you think you're living, but actually they're saying you've been pressed down. What would life actually be like when there is no mine? When there is no fear of losing something because you've already got everything within you? Paatshah Ji will talk about that in this Shabad. Think about it. What is it that is causing you pain and suffering? Your pain and suffering is being caused by that attachment that comes from being asleep and not realizing what my true self is. My true self is complete. My true self has no fear. My true self does not discriminate against anyone. My true self treats everybody equally. My true self has no enmity with anyone. But when I'm not living from that place, all of these things are there. The fear is there. Fear is linked to attachment. And Paatshah is saying that life, you're actually asleep. Your whole life, it has passed you whilst you've remained asleep. Satgur ka shabad sunna jagyo. Paatshah saying Satgur ka shabad, the teachings of the Shabad. The Shabad here has got a anchored underneath it, so teachings actually wouldn't be correct. The way to translate this would be Satgur ka Shabad, the Guru's word. meaning that referring here to every word of the Guru. So you don't take it, I'll take this bit, I'll take that part. It's the Guru's word, meaning the complete, everything that the Guru has said, every part of what the Guru has said. That is when we call it the Guru's Shabad, the Guru's word. Satgur ka Shabad sun na jagyo. Pachaji saying that you haven't awakened to listen to the Guru's word. You remained asleep. You refused to wake up and listen to it. Kende antarna upajyo chao. Sangat ji, someone might think that, well, we're okay. We don't feel that need to have to take on the Guru and take the Guru's word. So, and then Sangaji, the secondary arth to that would be the Guru's teachings. But just so that there's no confusion, Shabad is singular and it does mean word here. But if you think of it like this, that there being a big treasure box, and on that treasure box is called word, but within there is lots of jewelry, and all of that jewelry is a part of that word, if that makes sense. So, and then what we're saying is that collective jewelry is the word of the Guru, okay, but it's made up of many. And that's what this means here. Satgur ka shabd sunna jagyo antarna upajyo chao. There's not even that inside that inspiration to even want to listen to the Guru's word. But one might say that, well, what's the need? Why do I need to? Because whoever is living in that way, that way of being trapped in that attachment, not only are they suffering themselves, even though they may not realize they are suffering, but they are causing suffering to others too. Whoever is living out of that possessiveness that I've got a right over you and you cannot, and it's like, and you cannot leave or whatever it may be, you'll be causing pain, you will be causing problems for them too. You'll be making their life difficult too. Whenever we're in that place, then we're not going to be pleasant to somebody else, because being attached isn't actually a pleasant experience, because attachment comes with fear of losing. So Sangaji, when we are living like that, we're not going to be living from a place of love. And that will then cause other people grief too, because in the way that we treat them, because we'll then try and bound them as well, even though something might be good for them. But we won't even allow them to progress in that, because it's about then myself. It's about me. It's about what I want for them. It's about how I think it should be. So in that way, Pach saying Satgur ka shabd na, Satgur ka shabd sunna jagyo. Kende uthe nahi, sutte reh gaye. Kende they didn't awaken to the Guru's word. Kende sareer jalon gun bahara. Pach saying those that are outside of the gun. Gun Sangat ji meaning gun meaning virtue. The virtue of love. Those that haven't got that virtue of love from inside, and that love is unconditional. They're saying those that haven't got that, what is it? They're sareer jalon. They said they are burning. Their body is just burning, meaning that they're burning in what? Bhai will tell us in the next pangti. What are they burning? In which way are they burning? Kende jo gurkar na kamaye. Kende those that do not earn the Guru's kar, the Guru's way of life. Those that do not take on the Guru's way of life, kar, that do not earn the Guru's service. Meaning is following the Guru's word. But you're saying they are then, their body is burning. Because where there is that attachment, there is no love. There's no space for love there. There is either attachment or there is love. And then Paat Ji say ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਗਤ ਜਲੰਦਾ ਡਿਠ ਮੈਂ Paat Guru Amar Das Ji Paat Ji ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I saw the whole world burning. Jagat jalanda dit means to see. Dit ਮੈਂ ਹਉਮੈ ਦੂਜੇ ਭਾਏ. What are they burning in? They're burning in ego. Remember we just spoke about ego. Ego is when you recognize falsely for something to be you. When you identify yourself as something falsely in ignorance of not realizing yourself. So you're burning in that ego. And then what happens is when you're in that ego, this is mine, this is me, I am this. From I am this, from my ego, then I feel possessiveness over others too. You've actually fallen for duality. That's what it means to be burning. Nanak Gur Sharanai Ubre Sach. Maaf karna, Nanak Gur Sharanai Ubre Sach Man Shabad Tiyahai. Paat saying that Gur Sharanai Ubre. That but we can be saved, we can be taken out of this attachment, out of that sleep. If we go into the Guru sanctuary, if we truly go into the Guru sanctuary, not just read our part and be done with it. If we truly contemplate the Guru's word and live by the Guru's word. Sangji, many of people, yes, they're just getting their nitnem done, getting it out the way, they're playing it on their whatever phones, got their earphones in and just doing their thing. And they feel satisfied with, alright, I've done my bit. Yeah, I've got my Ardaas out of the way. Yeah, I went for a quick walk in the morning and just played my Nitnem. Sangati, that doing Gurbani is something else. Paat Ji saying here, such a man shabad te aaye. That through the meditation of the Guru's word, Shabad here, look, it's spelt differently to the way Shabad was spelt before. Shabad before was with Daddeno Onkad, and here Shabad is Daddeno Sihari, meaning that through the Guru's word, through the Guru's teachings, I was able to then meditate on, my mind was able to meditate on what? On Sach, on that true Sacha Vaheguru. Chache no Onkad, meaning this is singular. It's masculine, it's a noun, so it's referring to Vaheguru. It's saying then I was able to then focus meditate my mind through the Guru's teachings on that one Vaheguru. Sangaji, that's where Gurbani takes us. That's where Gurbani should be taking us. Coming into the Guru's sanctuary means that I contemplate so deeply, and through my Guru's Bani I become completely absorbed in the meditation of Vaheguru, of the truth. And the truth is not then falsely thinking I am this, I am body, I am mind. The truth is what is the core of this, that is within this, that is the driving source, the source of creation within this. Having that realization of that is meditating on the truth. So you can't meditate on the truth with your mind. The truth can only be known, not thought about. Mahalla tija shabd ratte home gai. Those that became imbued through the Guru's teachings. Shabd de naal dadde no sihari, shabd de naal rat gaye, shabd ratte home gai, and their ego dispelled. Sobhavanti nar, that true jigyasu, that true sek, that one that is yearning to know the truth, and they became sobhavanti, became glorious. Those that actually walk in harmony with Vaheguru Ji, with God, ਤਾਂ ਬਣਿਆ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰ, then that became my ornaments. Walking in harmony with Vaheguru became my ornaments. How do I know I'm not walking in harmony with Vaheguru? Every time I suffer, every time I experience pain, sorrow, any of these, when I experience those, I know I'm not in harmony with Vaheguru. Anytime I feel attached, anytime I feel angry, anytime I feel lustful, I know that I'm not going in walking in that harmony. Anytime I start to believe this is me, I'm stuck in that ego, in that I am. Kende perke bhane sada challe ta baniya shingar. Kende, but walking in harmony with Vaheguru, my heart wells up with love. That becomes then my ornament. Kende sej suhavi sada pir rava. Har var paya nar. Those Sangat Ji, Pacha Ji saying that har var paya, those that actually meet Hari, Vaheguru Ji, var meaning husband. Those that actually meet and have union with their true husband, Vaheguru Ji, paya nar meaning those soul brides. Then sage their hearts. Sage meaning bed, but meaning the bed of their heart. Sage Suhavi becomes so beautiful. Sada Pirarave, they're constantly enjoying Vaheguru Ji upon the bed of their heart. Meaning their heart is always constantly beautiful, welled up in love. And that's all they have then to spread to others as well. When somebody has found love within, then they don't have to be told to be good to somebody, because they only have pleasantness within them. Because that's what you experience when you are experiencing love within yourself, and you only have then that pleasantness to give to others too. Anytime you say that I'm in love with this person, but you treat somebody else bad, it was never love in the first place. It was always attachment. You hadn't yet found love, because love does not discriminate. It's not one directional. Then Pacha Ji ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਹਾਰ ਮਰੈ ਨਾ ਕਦੇ ਦੁੱਖ ਲੱਗੈ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ, you know, when you have that true realization, when you go beyond the ego, these false identities, and you realize the truth within all of that, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਹਾਰ ਮਰੈ, that one where you are with that one does not come to an end. There is no death, there is no time there. Na kade dukh lagga. So for that reason, there is no reason for us to ever then experience dukh, suffering. Suffering happens when we lose something, and something does not go to our own expectation. When somebody loses somebody to a divorce, to death, or whatever it might be, they are experiencing that dukh because they are not with Vaheguru Ji. When we're with Vaheguru Ji, there is no sorrow left, because that in that place there is nothing that you can lose. There's nothing that goes, there's nothing that comes. It is just stillness. It is just love. Hoye falyo anurag. All that is spread out everywhere is anurag, is that one. That is the form of love. Sada suhagan nar, that one is then that true, constant, happy married bride, that true happy soul bride. Nanak har prabh mel lai, gur ka het pyar. Har prabh mel lai, Vaheguru Ji unites themselves with those. Gur ka het pyar, those that have love. Those that have love inside of their heart for their Guru. Gur ka het pyar. Sangat, the way to actually translate that literally is Gur ka het, is through the Guru, and then through having love within their hearts, then Vaheguru Ji unites them with themselves. Gur ka, Guru de naal, het, jide andar pyar aa jave, us pyar de fe rahi, fe Vaheguru Ji ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਿਲਾ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਨੇ. Pauri jina gur gopya apna te nar buryari. Pach Singh, those that actually go to the extent of gopya literally means to deny, but even meaning that slander, those that actually deny their guru, that even go to the extent of slandering their guru. Gyani Hazara Singh, which is the dictionary of Guru Granth Sahib Ji, who has been edited by Bhai Veer Singh Ji, they've translated gopya to from hidden to deny to nindya. Those that even go to the extent of actually slandering the true guru, then what happens? Saying those are the worst of people. Har jiyo, they do an Ardaas. This is, oh Vaheguru Ji, har jiyo tinka darshan na karho papist hatyari. That may I never have to see them. May I never have to be in the company and even look at such people that are slanderers of the Guru. Because papist, bahut vade papi ne, they are sinners. Hathiari, they hathiari meaning they are outright murderers, criminals. That's who a true murderer is. Somebody that is denying the Guru and slandering the Guru. Oye kar kar fir hai kusud man. प्यारे पाच कहते ओए घर घर फिर है कसुद्ध, उत्थे छोटा विश्राम लाउणा आपां फिर है ते फिर कसुद्ध मन जो धरकट नारी. They're saying that just like that woman that goes round house to house, ओए घर घर फिर है कसुद्ध man, whose mind that is impure. And then jo धरकट नारी, that woman that is not loyal to her husband, that goes round house from home to home, with that impure mind. Paatshah Ji saying, those that have completely turned their backs on the Guru and slander the Guru, deny the Guru, meaning that they may have taken on the Guru at some point, but then they start to deny their very own Guru. And then they start to actually slander their Guru. They are just like that woman that has turned her back on her own husband and denies her own husband. And Sangat Ji, just to put this out there, the last time I spoke about an example similar to this by Guru Amar Das Ji Padshah about a woman. Somebody actually commented, a woman actually commented on our videos saying that these gathas were something I regularly listen to, but because you continue to give that example again and again, I can't remember the exact words that she used, but it was either that she felt very disappointed or hurt. Sangat Ji, you've all got to just remember one thing, that here, sitting here, Baljit Singh is the Guru's postman. I'm delivering the message, Sangat Ji. And for those of you that are listening to this, I shouldn't have to then say, yes, that could be a man too. We need to go beyond these examples. It's about the message that is hidden within the example. Don't get so stuck in the example. That is our own insecurities, and when we start to identify so deeply with our own gender that we start to become so hurt over these things. So always look beyond the actual literal example itself and connect to the message. Vadapagi sangat mile Gurmukh savari. Paatshah Ji saying, but even those that become that way, that start to deny their own Guru, they said that they can be saved as well. They can be if with some form of great fortune that they were able to sangat mile, be in the company of Gurmuks who have completely given themselves to the Guru. Through their company, savari, you can be reformed. Paatshah Ji saying, har meloho satgur deya kar. And then Sangat Ji, an Ardaas, to Vaheguru Ji saying, Hey Vaheguru Ji, Har Meloho, unite me, O Vaheguru Ji, saying to Vaheguru Ji, unite me with that true Guru. Meloho Satgur Daya Kar, please be merciful upon me, O Vaheguru Ji, unite me with my true Guru. Kende Gur Ko Bilahari, I am a sacrifice to the true Guru. So Sangat Ji, itniyak ਬੇਨਤੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ, ਇੱਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਰ ਅਨੇਕਾਂ ਹੀ ਗਲਤੀਆਂ ਹੋ ਗਈਆਂ ਹਨ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅਣਜਾਣ ਬੱਚਾ ਸਮਝ ਕੇ ਬਖਸ਼ ਲੈਣਾ। ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, for me the takeaway message from this shabad is where Guru Sahib Ji is saying that beg to meet with the Guru, so that way through the Guru's word, through the Guru's teachings, we can actually break through these shackles of these false identities that we have started to believe we are, being stuck in the ego, and going to that place of realization and waking up from this ignorance and breaking the shackles of attachment, which is the cause of all our sufferings. So may Sadhguru Ji Pacha Ji bless us to have that realization. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji